Once again, we get the treat of seeing a Game 3 deciding match, but unfortunately, the loser of this game is ejected from Iron Squid as dead last in Group C, and it's shocking to me that it's going to be one of Liquid Taeja and MarineKing Prime. But that happens when the Iron Squid 2 is literally one of the most stacked tournaments to happen in StarCraft 2. Yeah! So, Kalaris, shall we hop into things?
We can do, once I decide to get the right game loaded, because apparently I was still in the wrong one. I unloaded it wrong twice, so that's a rare occurrence.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the map then. It's going to be on Entombed Valley, which, again, it's one of those maps where you either do a really crazy, aggressive, cheesy thing, or you play hyper defensively and sort of pulled back and take 3 bases. For the composition, what are your feelings on either Mech or Marine Marauder?
Ooh, well, again, actually going Marine Marauder is a pretty good choice because there's a lot of angles to start exploiting, but the Terran, if they want to establish defenses on the extremities of their natural and their third, then you can zone out a lot of that as well. So I'm not a huge fan of Mech because of how open the middle is, so I'm just going to stick with a tactic that you mentioned earlier, which is Marine Medevac, and then eventually into tank play.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird how it's both a very open map and a very not open map.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's very open in the middle, and it's extremely easy to seize control of the middle and to be in fantastic shape with that, but it's quite tough to break the natural or the third base, or if your opponent is positioning himself very nicely, even the fourth base that's at the south position. So this is a map where I think that Mech is a little bit more workable than on other maps, but I think it's pretty dang hard to execute the attack timings cross map if you're up against someone like Taeja. And I'm just sort of assuming that Taeja will be the Marine Maraudering one.
Yeah. Well, you're right, though. Like, if you're going to go Mech on this map, it's all really about, once you've claimed those 3 bases, claiming the ground in between your third and your fourth, and really holding on to that for desperate life. And if you can't, then you're kind of down and out, because hitting the timings in the middle of the game is really difficult. So you just have to either max out and then plow across, or do nothing. But there really is no 2 ways about it. Yeah.
Well, down in the bottom left, the yellow, beautiful gentleman, MarineKing Prime, starting off with, looks like he might be going for a quick expand, because as we talked about on the previous maps, he really has been going straight for the ultra mega fast gas, and on this map, he's not doing that at all.
This is true. This is true. As for now, did we have? Yeah, he spawns MKP spawning down our bottom left. And yeah, Mr. Taeja spawning up in top right. And Taeja, just in general, if I saw him deviate from anything like an expansion play as well, it would be I think it would be slightly shocking here on a map like Entombed Valley. It's just such a good map to expand on. Like, it's just that's just it.
This is one of those things where, no matter what you do, like, if you are going to be going crazy, mad, stupid aggression, you have to have an expand behind it in some form. And MKP doing this, again, really has to have, like, a two-gate type of follow-up to, in my eyes, be, not two-gate, 2 racks kind of follow-up to be in a sort of comfortable position.
Yeah. Yeah, as for now, actually, yeah, Taeja, proving me wrong. He's going to be going for a refinery. So maybe a little bit of aggression out of Taeja from here on. And this harks back to an older version of Taeja that, we haven't seen rear its head in TVT for a little while, but he's going to bring it. And MKP for now is going to be in the defender's shoes with the 2 barracks that are going down. So he's taking good precautions as well in terms of getting out a lot of units quickly with those 2 barracks. And really trying to ramp up the production from there.
I feel like I'm watching like a face swap on Reddit or something like that, where we're seeing MarineKing Prime do the Taeja-style strategies and Taeja do the MKP-style strategies. We already have the, tricksy Taeja. Now, if I'm in MarineKing Prime's shoes, I'm probably going to look at this and go, oh yeah, no doubt, my opponent is going for some sort of reactor Hellion, or maybe straight for a Banshee with an aggressive one-base play. But Taeja kind of blowing my mind, going straight for this expand, and he's probably just going to be going Marine tank defense in this spot.
Yeah, that could indeed be of an eventuality, but it's funny because Taeja is doing all of this and he's getting the gas behind it, and unfortunately for him, the one slight advantage he could have eked out from this is, if his opponent poked up and saw all of that was going on, it's like, oh, there's a wall in there, what's going on? But actually he just didn't scout at all, so MKP here is going to be taking precautions for everything, or one would assume everything, to keep himself stable, and from there on, we'll see how it goes. He's getting the gas for it, at least.
Yeah, I quite like what MarineKing Prime is doing. That's still along those lines of what we've been talking about, but have yet not seen, the whole marine aggression thing. And if you're in Taeja's shoes, you kind of have to go for the starport, because there's really no way to defend against Banshees with just a meager number of Marines from one barracks, even if it is a reactor barracks. So Taeja now just going for his orbital command, and MKP really emphasizing that Marine, going for the early engineering bay. And I even saw Ganji do something cute where he goes for combat shield +1 and 2 reactors before getting up a factory. So he almost completely abandons the medevac idea and just busts right in there with a bunch of combat shield Marines super swiftly.
That's a pretty cool idea, actually. I mean, you're basically just circumventing the need for longevity in your army by just having a lot of your army. So I like the idea of it.
So now we have the factory coming out. No real pressure at this point yet. Hellion's just sort of gently poking about. And we see Taeja just sort of pulling back and doing the usual mixture. But this could be some... What is going on over in... Ah, there we go. I was wondering what Taeja was doing. He needs to sit down and practice with Legos a little more first. But yeah, I like it.
Just decided to lift everything off and rearrange it once or twice, and it's happy from there. Double engineering bay for him as well. So those bio tank styles that we were assuming from the very beginning on a map like this, it's just, again, so hard to make mech work. So hard. So.
Well, KP's really building himself up for a nice Marine timing, and the early stage of the game, at the very least, it comes down to, does Taeja get enough defense to hold this attack off? Because Taeja's going mega late game with his 1-1. He'll likely just add on 2 more barracks and then go 2-2 as he takes a 3rd base. There's nothing in Taeja's build that would indicate that he has any plan on doing a push. Maybe if MKP botches this attack really hard, then Liquid Taeja can swing back with some tanks and just 1-1, but it's going to be pretty reasonable of a call on the ultra long term for Taeja.
Yeah, with the 1-1 coming down here, you're right. It's really a very long game orientated focus. He's adding on a few more barracks here, but this will probably just lead on to the securing of a 3rd command center. That 3rd base, and with that, with the double engineering base down, I mean, everything right now is, pretty hunky-dory here for both players. MKP is going to be the more aggressive than anything with just the 1 engineering bay, and he's interestingly adding on a factory down at his... Oh no, it was just the normal factory going to land in that location for some reason, and he lifted his command. Did you see that? He lifted his command center for the second.
I saw those SCVs just sort of go off in their own way. I remember that when that used to happen in Brood War, when you tried to add on your comsat. And you'd fudge it. Oh, that was a painful thing. There's Liquid Taeja with the 2 more barracks to get his stim and combat shield upgrade. He's getting his armory, or at least he should be getting his armory. There's the armory going down right now. It's a little bit late, but no big deal. He'll be starting his 3rd command center. And again, it's all going to come down to whether or not he can hold off this push. And MarineKing has 31 Marines up against 16 unupgraded Marines. Taeja, move that tank to the front, Taeja. Oh, Taeja!
Well, this is going to be pretty... Oh, God, he's just got his units everywhere. MarineKing, actually, this just could be do or die here. I mean, Taeja... Oh, he actually moves one of the tanks to the front. Those 2 tanks with the bunker are pretty formidable. They're going to do a lot of splash damage to those Marines.
I'm wondering why those Hellions are so far back in the base. Did they not see? Why are there troops up in the main base? MarineKing Prime. Oh, my God, the first shots of the tanks go straight for the Marauder. Oh, MarineKing Prime is just breaking up the front with pure, good old-fashioned Marine and Taeja. Oh my God, What a painful situation. Oh my god, he had enough units. They were just back in his main base. Look at this. MarineKing Prime is only able to barely break through it. Oh, my heart.
You're right. He had all the units to deal with it. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That was kind of brutal.
Oh, that's just a heartbreaking timing. I mean, MarineKing Prime did a pretty typical style of build, the early expand, the mass marine emphasis, the +1 timing push. But I mean, Taeja had all the units he needed. This is one of the reasons why you start the tank production so early, is that when those pushes come, you have 3 or 4 tanks and you have maybe half as many marines, and you're completely unupgraded, but you have a bunker and some huge tank blasts, and you have the time to set up in the good position. But I mean, Taeja just having a critical misread. Just needed to have those Hellions somewhere in the middle of the map, keeping an eye on it.
Oh, well, that is going to do it. I can't believe we're saying this, but the first person to be eliminated from this group is Liquid Taeja. And now,
Wow.
we're going to be transitioning on to MarineKing Prime and Brown to decide who is going to get that second spot here in Group C.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we saw Taeja fall to Brown earlier. Does MarineKing Prime have a new enough style to be able to thwart modern Protoss? Will he go old school, or will Brown continue with his nice defense and cool attack timings? Guys, find out, because the final best of 3 is coming up right after this.